Kia ora koutou. Today we will be going through the cardiac cycle. First step in the cardiac cycle is the ventricular filling. This is when pressure in the ventricle drops below the pressure in the atrium. The mitral valve opens and allows blood to flow into the ventricle. At this point, the ventricle fills to about 80% of its capacity. The next step is atrial contraction. This is when the SA node is often referred to as the heart's natural pacemaker. The SA node creates and sends electrical impulses throughout the heart, stimulating the heart to contract and pump blood. This prompts the two atrium to contract, completing the filling of the ventricle to its capacity. Isovolumetric ventricular contraction. The electrical signal from the SA node progresses from the atria to the AV node. The AV node serves as an electrical relay station and transmits signals down to the ventricles. After passing the AV node, the electrical current travels through the bundle of His to the ventricle down through the Purkinje fibers. The AV node then signals the ventricles to contract, and the ventricular pressure increases dramatically. Ventricular ejection. As systole continues, more pressure builds up inside the ventricle until it forces the aortic valve open. Blood moves into the aorta at high pressure. By the end of the cycle, the pressure in both the aorta and the ventricle begin to decrease as more blood leaves the heart. This decrease in ventricular pressure causes the aortic valve to close again. Isovolumetric ventricular relaxation. At this stage, both aortic and mitral valves are closed again, and the pressure in the ventricle continues to drop as the ventricle relaxes. Once this pressure drops below the pressure in the atrium, the mitral valve opens and that marks the beginning of the next cardiac cycle. Come here!
This is our cultural component for our biomodel. Ventricular filling. New Zealand signed the Treaty of Waitangi and opened its doors to Pacific to allow for migrants. Atrial contraction. In 1970, a second surge of migrants created filling of Pacific in New Zealand, as it was told to be the land of opportunities. Isovolumetric ventricular contraction. Tension rises as Pacific numbers reach peak levels. Government feels pressure as it undergoes recession. Ventricular ejection. Knock knock knock, passports and bags at the ready. Pacific dawn raids are upon us. Isovolumetricular relaxation. New Zealand fronts up to its mistakes and acknowledges the important role of Pacific in our communities and welcomes Pacific migrants back with open arms. Kia ora.